Hey everyone, Max here. BTC is at all-time highs, stocks are at all-time highs. There's so much volatility in the markets right now, and there's one question coming up every single time. Is day trading or investing something I need to pursue? Is it something I need to spend my time on? And what would you recommend to do? Well, for me, if I could make a video for 10 years ago, like my prior self, when I got started with trading and investing, then I would make this video. So let's dive into it. It is super raw, but I just want to provide this knowledge across to you to answer that question. Is it something you should pursue? And what are the action steps if you want to, or are there easier ways? So with that said, let's dive into what are the markets and how do the markets work. So the markets are filled with patterns that repeat themselves. It's all based on fear and greed. How markets move is based on people panicking, selling, or algorithms panicking and selling, or they don't panic, but they are programmed by human beings to sell when this and this happens, or to buy when this and this happens. So the markets are moved by that. And if you understand it, right now, price is at all-time highs. Everyone is thinking, jump into Bitcoin, jump into stocks. But if you just look at the data, you also know bigger corrections, bigger crashes will happen. But human behavior creates these patterns right now that if it starts to crash, it will crash hard, right? If it starts to rise, it will rise very hard because everyone is jumping in. That's how the markets work. And back in the days when I started to trade, I was looking at these patterns and people were telling me, people on YouTube, Google, I was just studying like, okay, what is something that happens every week, every month, and can I test that, can I see that? And that was one major thing I realized pretty early, which helped me back then a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, got a lot of lessons, and we'll dive into them. But one thing was, okay, I want to find something I can repeat, I can learn, form a routine around, and just do that over and over again and get a return. Because if you find a pattern in the markets, you can put a risk to reward towards it. And how that works is a little bit similar like sports betting. So sports betting is like you find your favorite team or a team you trust or a team you believe in, and that team wins more often than it loses, right? And if you spend money on that, if you think, okay, this next game will be won, or the next 10 games will be won, and you're pretty good in what you do, you can make a return on it, right? So with sports betting being very similar to trading, the only big difference is finding such a pattern, like finding a team that you trust, is very difficult. And if you never find it, then you will be never profitable. And that is something I talked about in a prior Raw Talk video when I just exposed the whole trading industry. Is like almost no one has a good pattern, almost no one has a good strategy that is tested like 1,000 times. It worked in the past. And what I did early on was, if someone told me like, this is my strategy, what I would do back then already is manually dive into the charts, look back 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and see what the performance was if I executed that game plan over and over again. And then I realized pretty quickly, this strategy is not for me, it doesn't work, the data is not there. However, doing that manually, I could do like a few a month, maybe a few a year, right? Not like the mass amount of strategies I will need to test to find a good one. Because like I said, it's very rare. The probability is very low that you find a good strategy. There are millions of day traders trying to get it, right? It is a very competitive market. So if you want to pursue this, you need to know that, but you also need to know about something I didn't know 10 years ago. And that is every pattern, every trading strategy, every approach, every trading plan, you can automate. And if you automate it, you don't have to do it manually, right? And then you can test like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years of data very quickly. Sounds complex, but let me quickly explain how that works. Let's say there's a pattern that happens every single week. You just program every single week, do that action, and then within a few minutes, you will see what the outcome should have been if you done it. Yeah, so you can test way quicker. And that time frame becomes way less until you, as a person, find a good strategy that actually works and is backed by data. And that's what I would recommend my old self, because when I started out, I was a bit profitable after a few years, and then I became more profitable and I got my first funding, and now we're managing millions, right? In FX, but also investing in crypto and stocks separately for our clients. And I would have been way more profitable if I just took this approach of automating all these strategies and finding it. If that is something you're interested in, you can either learn to code, which I don't recommend because it takes you years, or you can use no coding platforms, and that's what we do, that you can learn in, to be honest, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, then you know how to build every trading plan. So that roadmap again is very short, and that's way better. So let's move this quickly. There you go. So with that said, that is my approach towards day trading. Is this something for you? What do you need? You need a little bit of creativity. You need to figure out, okay, do I want to learn this for a couple weeks? And then you can more or less, you will roll into it and you'll learn a lot, and you have a way better start than I had. If you're not interested in that, and let's say you want to build wealth, what are the ways to build wealth? Simply, you have a good career, or you have your own business that grows. What to do with that money you invested, right? Where do you invest it? Either in an investment plan you made for yourself, because to be honest, we don't need to invest in a fund anymore regarding stock investments, because you can do everything yourself. If you want to learn that, I did a Medium post about it, totally for free, not here to sell you anything. But there I teach you how to invest in stocks like the S&P 500 and Berkshire, dollar cost average that, and do it very easily and laid back for, on average, 10% a year return, right? So let's go back to the business example and what to do with your money. If you build your own business or you build your own career, what I recommend to do, save a portion, push that into that investment plan I just shared, and then you have a pretty straightforward life, right? But what if you want to do it a little bit, like go a little bit quicker towards that wealth? You have to either boost your income or you have to boost your returns. Boosting your returns is achieved the best way with day trading, but then the automated way, in my opinion, otherwise it will take you, well, we just talked about it. And you can do that, right? You build your career, you build your business, and you boost your returns with actively trading, or, well, trading more, right? To up those returns. So that's what I want to share with you. That's like the ways to do it. So to sum it up, is investing something for you? If you want to have a laid-back approach, you're just focused on your career a lot, you're building that business, maybe you're just totally focused on that, cool, just invest and save more or less passively, right? Do that, read that if you're interested in it, or study for yourself. And the second thing is day trading something for you? Yes, but know what you're dealing with, right? Don't pursue just that trading the patterns manually, believing everything everyone is telling you. Test it yourself, back it up by data, right? We are more or less the only community in the whole FX industry with a track record, where we can literally show you, okay, this algorithm made this much return, and then you can see for yourself if it works or not. And that is something I try to pursue within this industry, to just expose the fact that a lot of people are screaming and grabbing attention and trying to be heard, have a voice, but they do that in a way that it is not that trustworthy, because they cannot show the data that actually works what they are doing. And that is something I want to change here, and that's why I made this video. So I hope you like it. I see you in the next one. Let me know in the comments below if you have questions. We dive into it.